What's up, dolls? Welcome back to my channel. So, this is my take on the who the F did I get married? I also want to talk about, you know, being desperate for love and all the things that come with that and finding your way out of situations like this. You've been through it, I've been through it. You all know this is a very relatable story, and I really commend this lady for coming forward and being able to be that transparent and vulnerable in front of the world because this is taking a storm. Everybody is glued in. I even think TikTok crashed a couple times because there's so many people watching, and that tells you how relatable the story is. Because to me, in my opinion, when it starts getting this much buzz, it's because a lot of people have dealt with it or are going through something and they find comfort in it. I mean, seriously, you can find comfort in other people's stories because it's relatable. So I will um, put the video of how I make my chia pudding in here. I'm also working from home, so I might look at some emails while I'm talking to you guys. But anyway, the story itself is so, I wouldn't say unique because I feel like I've been through it. I know people have gone through it, but it's a scary thing to be manipulated by someone you think you know and you really don't know. Um, and there were so many things that she said that were so heartbreaking, touching, and I think the number one thing she said to me that stuck out in the first 25 parts that I've watched was, I thought it was my time. And if you were in your 30s, if you might be in your 40s, you might be in your late 20s, you ladies know that we have this ideal, this fantasy that's created for us at a very young age, that we're going to have the perfect marriage, the kids, the family, the house, the mansion, whatever it is, that sort of plays in the back of our minds. And then the pressure of getting pregnant is something that's always, playing in the back of our mind because, some of us feel like our biological clock is ticking. And you may have your mom, like my mom, your dad. Hey, when am I going to get a grandchild? Like the pressure to me is a lot harder on women than it is men. And I don't think men really understand the pressure. And so, like, when you meet somebody who you feel like, damn, this is the one, or excuse my language, I don't know if I can curse on YouTube, but we're going to just not. But anyway, you feel like this is the one, and you tend to fall into it and you ignore a lot of red flags that it ends up hurting you in the long run. And it's nothing worse than going through something with someone, they start acting weird. And each time you start to dig and investigate, you feel like once that first incident happens where they break your trust or they make you feel like, what's going on here, you start to become paranoid and you start to do checkups now. You want to do research, you create fake pages, whatever it is that you do to investigate that person, it becomes more intense and it's so draining. I've been through it. It's so draining to want to know if this person is really your person, essentially. Um, so I really just understand her need to just want to ignore it and but also investigate. I've been in that situation, the duality of just like not being sure but wanting to be loved. So I'm gonna just ignore the best that I can because maybe they'll change. Maybe I'm just overthinking. Maybe, it's just a one-time thing and I want to be married. I'm getting older. I don't want to be alone. Alone, that is something that's also playing in the back of your head. Like there's so many things that we'll do that we'll settle for. Not every woman, but there are a lot of women who are up in age or getting older or who are, grown women who just want to be loved and want that family and don't want to be alone. And so there's things that we just accept. And I'm just here to say that we don't have to. It takes a lot of strength. It takes a lot of strength to be able to walk away from something that's no longer serving you, but you have to do it. And I know there is a sprinkle girl out here. There are people out here that tells you just how to manipulate that person who is also manipulating you. that's draining. And you don't have to do that. I mean, if that's the, whatever floats your boat. But for me personally, I can't play that game. I don't want to play that game because I just feel like, why can't we just be real, 100% authentic? And why we keep trying to hurt people that don't deserve to be hurt? You know what I mean? So listening to her story, I was just like, what? Because there are things that he was doing that gaslight her, and the fact that she knows that she is being gaslit and still stayed just speaks volumes to where she was in her life at that moment. And she speaks about that, which I really commend you, sis. I think her name is Ressa Tessa. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong, but I commend you for sharing your story with us, because a lot of women are finding comfort in it. But that man tried to gaslight her by telling her her ex was visiting her home and played the game. He played the mental game with her, because I believe this is what people do when they are actually doing wrong. So what they'll do is a tactic of, gaslighting you to shame you, to guilt shame you, because when they're doing their dirt, they're basically saying, if this comes out that I'm doing my dirt, at least I have that to say that she's did to me. So it's all gaslighting. It's a game, a mental game, and I just don't understand people like that. And I really feel like, the world needs mental evaluations, and I feel like it would be so helpful if we all had a mental evaluation on how we would handle certain things. Look, have a card when we on dates, pull out the card so I can see what level of manipulation you are at. If you're at a 0, cool. That means we're gonna work fine. But if you have qualities or signs that you could be a manipulator, please put that on. Like, let's have a medical card or something, because I feel like it's becoming a pandemic of just mental manipulation in this dating world. And it's unfortunate. People will tug at the heartstrings, people will tug at people's emotions just to get a rise out of them, or to keep them at bay, keep them in a vulnerable place, to make them believe that they are, this small. And really, you're like, not, I'm gonna say that big, this big, but you're not that small. So don't let people try to guilt shame you when you aren't um, doing anything wrong. And I really believe that at that moment is when you have to start leaving. Start really packing up your things, because the fact that she was able to prove that nobody was there is scary. And at that moment, I would have been like, you know what, let's just take some time away. But on the flip side, I feel like if she would have walked away, he probably would have guilt shamed her into leaving. Why? Oh, so now you're walking away. It's a real thing. It's happened to me. It's happened to a lot of women. And you just have to stay 10 on who you are. You know what I mean? Stay 10 on who you are. Don't, you know, don't let them cry in front of you to make you feel like it's like you're wrong. No, we're not connecting right. This is not going smoothly. Or there are a lot of things here that we need to address first in ourselves before we can get really, keep this ball moving. And the fact that she was going to have a child with that man is scary. I know a girl who was actually in a abusive relationship and got pregnant and lost the baby, and immediately left. And I always feel like sometimes, it's unfortunate that the baby is lost in the process, but sometimes God be sparing. God be sparing. You know what I mean? And like, you have to pack up your things and go. That's your opportunity. That is your opportunity to get out and choose yourself. So I really commend her for being that strong and doing what she needed to do. Now I'm only on part 25, baby. Like, I got a lot more to get to, and I'm gonna get to it hopefully within the next 2 days. It's just very long to just sit there all day. You feel like you got other things going on. But I just have to like just say like don't fear the unknown. You know what I mean? Because that person that you're with could be blocking your next blessing. You know what I mean? And be open to love because you never know what love is going to look like. You never know when love is going to come. I know our parents have this vision for us and how our love should look like, and I've always had that same like vision. I would always like fall into what my mother and my father wanted for me, but then love came a lot different, and I'm going to share this story time later. But love will look a lot different, and it's not going to look like what you expect. It may not come when you expect it. And so be open to all love because love is love, right? In this day and age, if you are hardcore stuck on what you want, cool, but just know that it may not come with all of the things that you want. You know what I mean? Or it may look different. That person may have everything you want, but they may look a lot different. So don't shut them down because they don't look like your normal. You know what I mean? Person that I met definitely does not look like my normal, and we'll go to a story time. And in one of the next videos, I'll talk about how I met someone who I really care about and how I'm getting to know them slowly. There is no rush. I don't feel like I'm being forced to marry. I don't feel like I'm being forced to get a house or being forced to be anything other than myself, and they are their selves, and we are confident in who we are, mature adults, and we will see how this pans out, but there is no pressure. I really believe that our world needs to create a different standard when it comes to community and how women care for each other. Because, no offense to our brothers, but if there is a lack of support here, then we need a better system of community. And I really believe that that's going to help us feel seen, feel loved, feel protected. And we really have to like think about our norms and what that looks like. So stay tuned for the next video. I'm going to add a clip of me making my chia pudding. And I hope you guys will try it out for yourselves. It's so tasty. It's healthy. It may be an acquired taste, but check it out. So make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. Bye, guys. All right, guys, so what I usually put into my chia pudding right now was a soup because I think I used too much milk, but it is okay. This was like a rush job. I put a little vanilla, some cinnamon, I put some fresh berries. This is what I'm gonna use today. Sometimes I like to add some nuts in there, like some sliced almonds. I might even add some honey, really depending on how I'm feeling. But, you know, I just wanted to keep it simple today. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the ingredients and put as much as you feel that you want, that works for you. There is no measuring for me. So, I mean, I may put like, to be completely honest with you, like a teaspoon of this in there, and I'll probably shake this a few times, you know, and I'll put some berries and I'll just let it rock and enjoy it. You know, you could put a little sugar if you feel, but I don't like to put sugar in it because I feel like that takes away the purpose of eating chia pudding, which is supposed to be for health benefits. So, you know, let me go ahead and put it together and I'll show you my finished result. Okay, so all the ingredients are in, and I'm just gonna swirl this around a little bit. And yeah, you guys enjoy.